Hey, Namaskar everyone. So, how are you all? I wish and hope you are just safe, be joyful and keep smiling. Fine, just be safe. Okay, let's continue with our discussion. What we were discussing is we were studying class 7 standard physics. We are in second chapter, motion, and this happens to be our lecture 7. In the previous episode, what we have discussed is we have studied about speed. What is speed? We know. Now if a body happens to move with a constant speed, then there exists a relation of this kind. Speed is equals to distance by time, provided the body moves with constant, provided the speed is constant, that is the body is moving with the same speed throughout the journey. The person is moving with the same speed. Only in that circumstances this relation is valid. I hope you're getting the point. We have already discussed it. I'm just giving a brief recapitulation. And we had learned many things, that we have different units of this. For example, kilometer per second is the SI unit. Meter per second. Then we had kilometer per hour, kilometer per minute. And then we also saw that 1 kilometer per hour is actually 5/18 meter per second. And this was actually how much? 50/3. I hope it's 1000. Just remember, I forgot. Even I forgot. I think so. 60. 50/3 meter per second. And then we solved numericals. We have solved many numericals. I hope all that is clear to you all. Now the next thing which we want to study is, our today's goal is classification of motion. We'll start, I'll just stay, but this thing we'll discuss. Classification of motion. Depending upon the fact how the body is moving, the motion can be classified into two categories. We'll see that. Let's start. Okay, let's start. Okay, fine, we'll start. The best thing is, you better take out your exercise book and start writing along with me simultaneously. So there is no issue for you to write it later on. Please take out your exercise book and start writing. Don't just sit in front of the video and watch it. Start writing it, because unless you write it, you will not get it. Fine, let's start. Now the idea is that when a body or any object is moving, then its motion can be classified into two categories. Actually, we can classify into many other categories also, but at this level we'll be just interested in two categories. Okay, first is said to be uniform motion. And the second category is said to be non-uniform motion. And the idea is, first let's try to understand the definition, what the definition actually says. The idea is that if the object covers equal distance in equal interval of time, throughout the journey, throughout its journey, throughout its journey. The idea is if the object covers equal distance in equal interval of time. For example, the body covers 1 meter every 2 seconds. 1 meter every 2 seconds. 1 meter every 2 seconds. Then we say the body is in uniform motion. If the object covers equal distance in equal interval of time throughout the journey, we say the object is in uniform motion. Uniform motion. That is the this is difficult. That is the object is moving with constant velocity, constant speed throughout the journey, throughout its journey. I hope it's clear. Obviously, next we'll go for example, we'll try to experience it, but for the time being, just go through the definition, just try to understand the definition, what we are trying to say. Fine. On the other hand, if the object covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, throughout its journey, we say the body is in, the object is in non-uniform motion. Oh, this one thing, huh? The word uniform means remains same. The word uniform means the value remains the same, whereas non-uniform means the value keeps changing. Since we are talking about uniform motion, it means that the value of speed remains the same, and over here non-uniform means the value of speed keeps changing with time. Sometimes it increases, sometimes it may decrease also. I hope it's clear. That is, the object is moving with variable speed. With variable speed. I hope it's clear. Variable means changing, with changing speed. Sometimes the speed increases, sometimes the speed decreases. We don't know throughout the journey. But for uniform motion, it will move with the same uniform speed. I hope it's clear. So depending upon the fact how the object is moving, whether it is moving with same speed, with constant speed, or variable speed, the motion can be classified into two categories: uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Uniform motion means it covers equal distance in equal interval of time. This means it covers unequal distance in unequal interval of time. I hope it's clear. Now we'll try to understand this very clearly. So we'll start. Okay, so we'll move on to the next part. Now we'll discuss about uniform motion. Now we'll try to discuss about uniform motion with help of mathematics. Let's see. So suppose this is our simple plain Sundarsa road, flat road, straight road, and this is U. This is U. Now, initially at t equals to 0, at t equals to 0 means he took a stopwatch with him, stopwatch, and then he started moving. He started moving. Now, it is found that this was suppose position A. After traveling a time of, what to say, the person reaches B over here in time covering a distance of suppose 30 kilometer in 1 hour. In 1 hour. We'll remove this part. And reaches another point P. Now the same person starts moving forward again and he covers another distance of 30 kilometer in another, and reaches a point C in another 1 hour. And if the same person keeps walking forward, then this person again covers a distance of 30 kilometer and reaches to the point D again in 1 hour. I hope I'm very clear with what I'm trying to emphasize. We are just using the definition of uniform motion, which simply says that the object will cover equal distance 30 kilometer, 30 kilometer, 30 kilometer in equal interval of time. That is, this person is covering equal distance, that is 30 kilometer in equal interval of time, that is 1 hour. I hope it's clear. Fine. Now let's try to discuss something. Now let's break the journey. Let's break the journey. Break the journey. The journey is actually from A to D. The journey is actually from A to D. But we'll break the journey. Let's see. First, from A to B. From A to B. Now, from A to B, the distance is how much? 30 kilometer. From A to B, just a minute. A to B, distance is 30 kilometer and time it takes is 1 hour. If it is so, in this case we know speed V is equals to distance by time, which is equals to 30 by 1, which is equals to 30 kilometer per hour. That is, when the body moves from A to B, it moves at a speed of 30 kilometer per hour. From A to B, it moves at a speed of 30 kilometer per hour. Now, let's do the same. From B to C. Now, when the body moves from B to C, still it covers a distance of 30 kilometer. That is, distance is equals to 30 kilometer. Time is still the same, 1 hour. Therefore, speed which is equals to distance by time is again equals to 30 by 1, which is equals to 30 kilometer per hour. Is it clear? Now, similarly, now we'll do the last part from C to D. अरे भैया इतना समझ में आ रहा नहीं? It's very. What am I trying to do? I'm just trying to, the journey which he has done from A to D, we are just trying to study in small parts. In small parts. So in that case, from C to D, what happens is, again भैया, the distance is कितना? फिर से same चीज, अरे भैया same है तो. Then this time is also 1 hour. Then therefore speed we know by definition is distance by time, which is equals to 30 by 1, which is equals to 30 kilometer per hour. Fine. Now see, now we come to the important point. Now we come to the very important discussion. The idea is that if the body is moving with uniform speed, if the body is undergoing uniform motion, in that case, the value of speed, the value of speed throughout the journey is same. Throughout the journey is same. Throughout the journey is same. A to B 30 km per hour, B to C 30 km per hour, C to D 30 km per hour. That is, if a person travels his journey with the same speed, then we say the body is in uniform motion. I hope it's clear to you. I hope it's clear. Now, since the body is moving with uniform speed, in that case, as the speed is same throughout the journey, it is uniform motion. And therefore speed of journey is same as how much? The individual speeds 30 km per hour. इस बात को प्लीज समझ लीजिए. If the body is moving with uniform speed, the speed of the journey is same as the individual speeds. Now this point has to be very much emphasized. If the body is moving with uniform motion, in that case, the entire speed of the journey is always 30 km per hour. Now this is something which will be different in case of non-uniform motion. So I just want to please emphasize again. For uniform motion, speed always remains the same, and this speed is same as the speed of the journey. I hope it's clear. Please copy it. Please copy it down. Where is your exercise book, bhaiya? Likho. What? Please write it down. Okay, we'll now move on to the next slide. Okay, finally. Now we'll move on to the next segment of the program, that is non-uniform motion. Now the idea is very simple. We already know the definition. What is the definition? If this is our Mother Earth, road. Acha. Now suppose this is a person, you. Now if this person covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, it's like this. We'll take it with another example. Suppose initially this person covers a distance of 40 km and reaches a point B, A. The person starts from the point A, then covers a distance of 40 km, reaches a point B in 2 hours. Fine? Fine. Great. Very good. Now, what happens is, he's too tired. He's very exhausted. Now he can't walk any further. So what he was able to do is, he just covered 20 km and reaches a point C in next 2 hours. Now see, initially he covered 40 km in 2 hours. Now he covers 20 km in 2 hours. That is unequal distance in an equal interval of time. Unequal distance. Now finally, now what he said is, I will not crack any jokes. Then initially, now after reaching a point P, now he took a Red Bull. Red Bull. Now we all know what Red Bull does to us. It gives us wings. Now what will happen? Now this person starts running and he'll finally cover a distance of 60 km in the next 2 hours, and this is a point D in 2 hours. Now what happens? See over here. The time interval for each duration is same. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. But what this person does is he covers the first distance of 40 kilometer, then 20 kilometer, then 60 kilometer. That is, what is he doing is he's actually covering unequal distance in equal interval of time. This is the definition of non-uniform motion. Now let's break the journey. Now we'll again do it. The same thing that we have done previously. From A to B. What happens from A to B? From A to B, the distance traveled is how much? 40 kilometer. And time is 2 hours. Therefore, we know that speed is equals to distance by time, which happens to be 40 by 2, which is equals to 20 kilometer per hour. That is, from A to B, he travels at a speed of 20 kilometer per hour. Now, from B to C. From B to C, let's see what happens. The distance traveled is how much? 20 kilometer. And the time he takes is same as previously, that is 2 hours. Therefore, again we know that speed is equals to distance by time, blah blah, same whole thing. 20 by 2, we know the calculation, cut. You'll get 10 kilometer per hour. Now we'll do the same thing here also. Finally, from C to D. From C to D. Distance traveled is how much? Oh my god, 60 kilometer. In the same time, t equals to 2 hours. Therefore, speed is equals to distance by time, which is equals to 60 by 2, which is equals to 30 kilometer per hour. Oh my god, see. That is, in the third part, he moved at a speed of 30 kilometer per hour. Why? Because he had Red Bull. Okay, the jokes apart, we are not interested in that. So finally what we say is that if the body covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, the body is said to be in non-uniform motion. And at the same time, for non-uniform motion, the speed is initially 20, then the speed decreases, then speed again increases. That is, the value of speed throughout the journey, is variable. The value of speed throughout the journey is variable. That is, it keeps changing, and such a motion is called non-uniform motion. Now here comes the difficult part. Please try to understand. In case of uniform motion, it was found that the speed remains the same. अच्छा बात है. At every point of the journey, the speed remains the same. And hence we said that the journey of the speed will be same as the speed at any moment of time. In case of uniform motion, the speed remains the same at every point. So कहा जाता है कि uniform motion के लिए the speed of the entire journey is same as the individual speed. Fine. Now, when it comes to non-uniform motion, we see that speed keeps changing. In that case, what should be the speed of the journey, of the entire journey? ये क्या होना चाहिए भैया? It should be this. What? We don't have any definition for that. Since the speed is constantly changing, we define a quantity. Since the speed of the constantly changing, we define a quantity called average speed. And this average speed is defined as total distance traveled, CE, by total time of journey. Total time of distance traveled by total time of journey. This is what is called average speed. This brings us to the definition of average speed. This is a new quantity which we will have to handle. Please go through it. Just copy it down. Please copy it down. लिख लो भैया. Just sitting in front of the camera won't do any help to you. Please write. Finally, we'll just give a summary of it. Is it? Have you copied it? Chalo. Now we'll just end this. Now for this case, we know that average speed is equals to total distance traveled in the journey. Total distance traveled in the journey. Total distance traveled in the journey by total time taken. By total time taken. I don't have enough space, so please just try to cooperate with this now. Now this becomes, now total distance traveled is how much? The total distance traveled is how much? A to B 40, B to C 20, then C to D. Then what we can do is 40 plus 20 plus 60 will be how much? This will turn out to be, first it was 40, then 20, then 60. Divided by total time is how much? 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. Means 2 plus 2 is 2, 6. This will turn out to be how much? 120 by 60. And this happens to be 20 kilometer per hour. Answer. This is the average speed. Now you might think this average speed matches with this. It's just a coincidence, nothing else. It can be, it cannot be, not necessary. It just happens to be. It's just a coincidence. This is how we calculate the average speed. Average speed is equal to total distance traveled by total time. I think you should very much clearly understand what was the need for introducing a quantity called average speed. You must think this. भाई ये average speed का ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ा हम लोग को? This see, whenever you come across a new term, you should understand and ask question to yourself that what was the need of introducing such a quantity? The need was that for non-uniform motion, the speed keeps changing. So what should we do with that? In order to get rid of that, we introduce a quantity called average speed, which was total distance traveled by total time. I hope it's clear, very much clear. So I'll just give a brief summary what we did today. We just wanted to study about different types of motion. Depending upon how a body moves, motion can be classified in two categories. If the body covers equal distance in equal interval of time, we say the body is in uniform motion. If it covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, that is non-uniform motion. For uniform motion, the speed is same every instant of time. Hence, the speed of the journey or the average speed will be same. We don't need to calculate average speed over there. But for case of non-uniform motion, the speed changes with time. Speed is different for different part of the journey. So we introduce a new quantity called average speed, which is defined as total distance traveled by total time. This is how we calculate. I hope it's clear. In the next class, we'll solve few numericals. Then we'll move on to the last part of the segment, which is mass and weight. In the next lecture, we'll solve few numericals together. Fine. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day ahead. Be safe, be joyful. Peace out.